Good evening, my friends. You are very welcome along to today's Anfield Agenda Transfer News Roundup. It's a brand new week here on the channel, which means there's going to be lots of developments coming up as the Reds prepare for the final game of the Asian part of a pre-season tour, taking on Yokohama Marinos on Wednesday. We're going to take you through the developing story around Luis Diaz move to Bayern Munich. We're going to talk about Alexander Isak and what dominoes may need to fall in place before he becomes a Liverpool player. A little bit on Rodrigo as well, a little bit from the bookies about who is the favourite going into next season's title race, and a couple of other interesting bits and pieces that we hope keep you well informed. You know the drill at this point, folks. I'll do my part. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like the video if you enjoy it, and I will see you back here tonight at 8:45 for the late night agenda. Right, let's get cracking. So we're going to start off with James Pearce of The Athletic, who said, Liverpool still feel well stocked at left wing, with Cody Gakpo, Ugo Ekitike, who can also operate there, and there's the exciting talent of young Rio. Now, I don't disagree with what James Pearce said there. Would it have been nice to bring in another wide player as well? Yes, absolutely. But we ran through this earlier on, and we'll have 6 attackers if Isak comes in for 3 front positions, as well as having players who can fill in and around as well. So I'm okay with it, as long as we get the centre-back, at least one. Let's move on now to Sashi Tavolieri, who has said, Liverpool have scheduled a meeting with Newcastle this week for Alexander Isak. Liverpool hope to convince Newcastle with a £120 million offer, plus some bonuses thrown in. Sticking with Sashi Tavolieri, he said Liverpool are set to be in talks with Newcastle in the coming hours. Liverpool have already received the green light from the player, and a 5-year contract is on the table. Now look, we're going to talk about why this deal is most likely going to happen. And it isn't out of arrogance, it isn't out of anything other than common sense. So let's talk through some of the options that Newcastle have on the table. This report from the newspaper from MSI Douglas said, Newcastle have already made preliminary contact with Nicholas Jackson, but Chelsea are quoting teams an astronomical £80 million to try to sign Nicholas Jackson. We believe that they're using the fee that Liverpool paid for Ugo Ekitike as a bit of a yardstick to measure what a forward of that ilk should be worth. Now, do I think Nicholas Jackson's worth £80 million? Absolutely not. Do Newcastle feel it? I very much doubt it as well. Sources believe Newcastle value the player closer to £65 million. So look, there are a lot of dominoes that have to fall here before Liverpool can go and get Isak. Will it be Šeško that goes to Newcastle? Will it be Šeško and Visa? Will it be Jackson? Will it be somebody like Ollie Watkins? These are the things that are going to have to happen before their stance softens up, and they certainly won't sell him to us until they have a replacement lined up. And I wouldn't expect the same the other way around either, to be honest. Right, sticking with the newspaper and MSI Douglas, Newcastle will only sell Isak to Liverpool if they bring in a replacement. However, if Liverpool's bid is large enough and it's viewed internally as the right course of action, they may do a deal. And as you can see now, Newcastle's stance starting to soften up as reality starts to dawn on the situation. And again, I'm not here to banter and wind up Newcastle fans, but there only seems to be one way this was going when Isak said he wasn't going to sign the new deal and wanted to come to Liverpool. And I've always urged Newcastle to take the money because it gives them a chance and time in the window to build that squad for Eddie Howe. They're also looking to bring in a goalkeeper, by the way, Aaron Ramsdale. There's talk of a potential loan there from Southampton with a view to buy. Obviously, Eddie Howe and himself worked together at Bournemouth previously. Lewis Steele has said, Newcastle are ready for that first bid to come for Isak, but they're fearing that first bid. I do think that Liverpool will make a play for Isak now. He goes on to say, do I think he will join? Well, it depends on Newcastle. It's too early to say, but I do have a sneaky feeling that this one will end up happening, or at least a bid will happen. Only info I have is Liverpool are preparing a bid. I don't have any information into whether Newcastle will play ball, and I don't think anyone does at this stage. Isak is desperate for a move to Liverpool. Now, of course, we had Fabrizio Romano last night as well saying Isak is dreaming of a move to Liverpool, and Isak has let it be known very clearly on his end that he would like to move. And this is what needs to happen for these type of things, because Newcastle have to save face with their fans. I would expect Liverpool to do the very same in the opposite position. So no problem with all of that. But I do hope we don't get into a pissing contest here where it's about egos, because Newcastle need time, money and availability to get Eddie Howe the squad he needs. And of course, Liverpool would like Isak in as soon as possible. Let's move to Ian Doyle now for a second, who said, Liverpool are prepared to break the British transfer record for Isak and are seeking a new centre-back too. And that's good news to me, because we do need a new centre-back. Most people I speak to think Liverpool need 2 centre-backs. And do you know what? I'm not really going to disagree. In an ideal world, yes, I'd like the second one. But if you brought in somebody of the calibre, let's say, of a Mark Gay, I think I'd be okay with that, because if we had 3 centre-backs and Joe Gomez, who I don't think we can rely on for fitness, but when he is fit, no problem with him playing. If you had Canade, Virgil and Mark Gay, you can rotate 2 of those 3, rest one up, and I think that would find us in good stead for the season. Right, gonna go to Ben Jacobs now, who said Newcastle have told Leipzig that they're prepared to pay over £60 million for Benjamin Sesko. No bid yet, as Newcastle want to wait to see whether Sesko will agree terms. United have also been on the radar for Sesko. Visa is still a target, and Nicholas Jackson is also being discussed by Newcastle. James Pearce of The Athletic also said Luis Diaz has said his goodbyes to Liverpool players and staff in Tokyo and is now on his way to Munich, where of course he will undergo his medical to become a Bayern Munich player. I did promise you a little bit about Rodrigo as well. This piece here, coming out of Spain, said Rodrigo has started talks with Spurs. He is open to leaving Real Madrid, but would prefer to join Liverpool over Spurs. I'm sure he would, to be fair. Why wouldn't he? Liverpool will be challenging for the Premier League title. Yes, Spurs have Champions League football, but will they be able to do that consistently? Truth is, though, I never really felt that Liverpool and Rodrigo were one that was going to happen, as much as I wouldn't have minded it. Fan of Rodrigo as a player, but the whole package always felt like it might be a bit expensive. If he's going to Spurs, you would imagine he would be their marquee signing of the summer, but let's wait and see with this one. Let me know, Liverpool fans, in the comments. What do you think around the situation with Rodrigo? Do you think that Liverpool should abandon Isak and bring in Rodrigo and maybe another centre-forward? Or do you think that Liverpool could be extremely greedy and look to have both? Let me know. Right, back to Sasha Tavolieri now, who said Liverpool have scheduled a meeting with Newcastle this week for Isak. The Reds hope to convince the Magpies with a £120 million plus bonuses offer. Now, data from Bet365 has shown where the money has gone down for next season's Premier League title winners. And they do it in percentages. So, 42% of all the money that's been put down on the Premier League title winners with that particular bookie is Liverpool Football Club. By far and away the most bet on winner. Second place, Manchester City, 14%. Then a joint third place with Chelsea and Arsenal, both on 13%. Manchester United, 11%. And Newcastle, 2%. I think they're right about the top one, Liverpool being the favourite. Honestly, as defending champions and having strengthened as much as we have, that makes sense to me. I would argue a little bit, though, about the second and thirds. I think Arsenal should maybe be a little bit higher up there, maybe on parity or, a little bit ahead of Manchester City. But of course, this is only based on where the money is going, not that what they think the possibilities are for these clubs to win it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we've gone through a lot there. I'm looking forward to catching up with you all again tonight. We'll be back to our regular time of 8:45 for the late night agenda. If you haven't, don't forget to join the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp community by scanning this QR code on the screen there now, or you can use the green one in the bottom corner of the main studio. And on top of that, our last ever live show is taking place at the Hot Water Comedy Club Liverpool, Sunday the 19th of October. All of our ticket sale revenue from this is going to be donated to Joe's fund for his wheelchair basketball chair. You can find the link to Joe's GoFundMe in the description of this video, and all of our ticket sale revenue from our side will be going towards that very good cause. We will see you guys soon. Much love. Bye bye.